Aloha and welcome to the Eyes of the Reef Network online training program. Thank you so much for being here and for taking the time to learn more about Hawaii's coral reefs. We hope that you have fun working your way through our 8 online training modules. By the end of this course, you will have a much better understanding of the many threats to Hawaii's coral reefs. You will also know how to identify unhealthy reef conditions and how to report what you observe to local reef managers. Together, we can do more to conserve and protect Hawaii's coral reefs. Whether you are a recreational ocean user, involved in ocean tourism, a fisherman or woman, or a student researcher, you can help care for your local reefs by keeping an eye out for unhealthy conditions. By reporting what you find to the Eyes of the Reef Network, you help reef managers better protect our coral reef resources. By participating in this program, you also become part of a community-based early warning system to help support the health of reefs throughout the state. We look forward to having you as part of our network. The first module of this course will provide you with an introduction to the Eyes of the Reef Community Reporting Network and an overview of coral reef ecology in Hawaii. This is the first of 8 modules required to complete the training program. If you have questions along the way, please reach out to your local island coordinator for more information. Contact information is available on our website. And also, there are free training materials available for you or your class. This includes underwater guides and training booklets. Please reach out to your local island coordinator on our website to find your nearest pickup location. In this first module, you'll learn more about the Eyes of the Reef Network program and how it helps to support coral reef management in the state of Hawaii. You'll also learn more about the ecology of coral reefs in Hawaii and the anthropogenic or human-induced stressors that can lead to problems with coral reef ecosystem health. By participating in our network, you become a part of this first tier of the State of Hawaii's Rapid Response Contingency Plan. This plan, which was initially developed by the Department of Land and Natural Resources, Division of Aquatic Resources, and partners, summarizes Hawaii's framework for responding to reef threats, such as coral bleaching and disease. Caring reef users, like you, serve as our primary reef monitors and can submit reports to reef managers that describe diseases, bleaching, invasive species, or other concerns from your local reef. Your report is shared directly with resource managers and scientists who first confirm your report, then if needed, will deploy a rapid response network of trained experts. Because Hawaii's coral reefs span an enormous geographic area, we need passionate reef users like you to help monitor and report potential ecological problems. Your reports to the Eyes of the Reef Network can help ensure a faster response to reef threats and is also added to a long-term database with other user reports. Stony corals, or reef-building corals, create the foundation of Hawaii's coral reefs. Live, growing corals create a complex habitat for thousands of other types of reef fish and invertebrates. The habitat created by corals is vital for supporting coastal fisheries. The reef structure created by corals also helps to protect our beaches and coastlines from storms and high wave events. Healthy reefs also provide sustainable food for local communities. Healthy living corals are absolutely vital to Hawaii's reef ecosystem. Are corals a plant or an animal? What do you think? If you said animals, you are correct. A coral is a colonial animal that contains embedded plant cells. More about the taxonomy of corals is shown in the box on the screen. Stony corals are a part of the order Scleractinia. Other characteristics of stony corals include six-fold symmetry, the presence of stinging cells, and beautiful flower-like morphology. Stony coral polyps live in colonies within a thin layer of live tissue covering the skeleton. Individual coral animals consist of a tiny coral polyp, which is comprised of tentacles and a mouth. Even a small coral can have hundreds of individual polyps. Polyps contain nematocysts or stinging cells, which are used to capture food, including a variety of types of zooplankton from the surrounding water column. Generally, these stinging cells are not detectable to human skin, although you should always avoid touching corals. As a coral grows, it slowly deposits skeletal material, comprised of calcium carbonate, beneath its live tissue layer. This growing skeleton can take on a variety of forms, including both small branching and large mounding morphologies. As a coral grows, it creates habitat for many other reef species. Coral reef ecosystems are comprised of a network of thousands of interlinked species, all relying upon one another to thrive. Reef ecosystems are complex, with biological components, water chemistry, currents, and other physical ocean forces working together to support a flourishing network. Reefs in Hawaii have a high degree of endemism, meaning that many species are found nowhere else in the world. Because many of Hawaii's marine species evolved in relative isolation with low competition and reduced defenses against competitors, invasive species are a big concern around the islands. Invasive species are often highly competitive and can easily overtake more delicate endemic species, potentially driving them towards localized or regional scale extinction. Healthy corals contain microscopic plant cells called zooxanthellae. These plant cells form a mutualistic, symbiotic relationship with the coral animal, meaning that both the coral and plant cells benefit from the relationship and both require one another to survive. For the plant cell, the coral provides a safe home, fertilizer from waste, and carbon dioxide used for photosynthesis. The zooxanthellae do what all plants do: photosynthesize. The process of photosynthesis, or conversion of the sun's energy to sugar and carbohydrates, provides around 90% of the coral's diet. This produced food is transferred directly to the host coral tissue. In addition, plant cells provide fresh oxygen to coral tissue and add colorful pigments to coral colonies. Without symbiotic plant cells, corals become stressed due to a reduction in food and an imbalance of oxygen. Unfortunately, modern coral reefs face numerous stressors. There are many natural and human-induced impacts that can negatively affect corals and coral reefs. Natural sources of stress include storms and diseases. Climate change, driven by increases in carbon in our atmosphere, can cause a number of problems, including water temperature fluctuations, increased ultraviolet radiation, sea level rise, more intensive storm damage, and ocean acidification. More localized human-induced sources of stress can include the runoff of fertilizer, pesticides, sewage, and other contaminants, physical damage to reefs from anchors, divers, and boats, habitat alteration, including dredging and coastal development, and excessive extraction of reef resources, including the overfishing of reef herbivores. Stress in corals can lead to greater susceptibility to bleaching and disease, reduced growth and reproduction, and partial or complete loss of coral colonies. If you notice any of these stressors at your local reef, please help monitor the health of the area and report signs of reef decline to the Eyes of the Reef Network. Fortunately, coral reef ecosystems can recover from certain stressors, both naturally and with the help of reef management interventions. Clean, unpolluted water can help enhance coral recovery from bleaching and disease, while reef grazers, such as surgeonfish, help maintain appropriate habitat for coral growth and the resettlement of coral larvae. You can support the reduction of coral stressors in your area by using reef-safe products before entering the water, avoiding contact with corals, reducing your carbon emissions during daily activities, and sharing these suggestions with your friends. You can also help support important reef protection initiatives in your area by contacting your local representatives. If you want to learn more about Hawaiian coral reef ecosystems and how you can help protect them, please visit our website for more information and resources. This concludes the first module of our online training program. Mahalo for your participation. This program was funded by the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration Coral Reef Conservation Program. The Eyes of the Reef Network has also been supported by numerous donors and sponsors, including the Malama Kai Foundation, Reef Check Hawaii, and Project Aware. In the next section, you'll be required to successfully complete a review quiz in order to move on to the next module. By participating in the Eyes of the Reef Network, you will support the first tier of Hawaii's Rapid Response Contingency Plan as a primary reef observer, report coral reef threats to the Eyes of the Reef Network using an online reporting system, help remove invasive species from your local reef. All of the above are both A and B. And you can select all that apply or just one answer. So if you chose both A and B, you are correct. Okay, second question. Why are healthy stony coral reef ecosystems important? Choice A is they support abundant coral reef fisheries. B, they build the reef foundation and create habitat for other reef species. C, they provide protection to beaches and shorelines. Or D, all of the above. If you selected D, you're correct. Question 3. Which of the following coral reef stressors are linked to climate change? A is warming sea temperatures, B, fish predation, C, physical damage from human contact, D, ocean acidification, E, all of the above, or F, both A and D. If you selected F, you're correct. Question 4, true or false? Corals contain symbiotic plant cells in their tissue called zooxanthellae. If you selected A for true, you're correct. And final question, where can you learn more about Hawaiian coral reef ecosystems and find the contact information for your local island coordinator? Option A, on the EOR website at eorhawaii.org, B, on the EOR Facebook page, or both A and B. If you chose C for both A and B, you're correct. So hopefully you got all of these correct. If not, you might want to go back and review the module. Mahalo for your participation in our training program. Coming up in the next module, you'll learn more about the types of corals you might encounter on your local reef.